Hello Georgia, we had a good Saturday. I'm going to do some more roofing again because I haven't done enough of it, obviously. To do, well, say a final little bit. It's going to take a while to do, but it's just the last little bit of this house here, so this building here. So I'm just tiling on top of this marker piece, guideline piece. Some of the other buildings I'd already glued this bit down on, but I want to make sure I want to get this bit tiled first so it's easier to access. I've been doing this all day, to be honest, Georgia. Non-stop model making. So what I've actually done today is I've added this bit of roof here and painted it. I've also finished off the roof at the back. I've glued all this together and put the formers in for the roof. I've made the roof form shapes, including this piece. So it's all starting to take shape. So this piece goes at the back of here, but what I want to do is tile this side first. Oops, I want to tile this side first, then glue this down, and then I'll tile this while it's on the wall. But this is just going to be difficult to get at whilst when it's in place. So, but this is just going to be difficult to get at whilst when it's in place. So I'm going to sticking on itself as I peel it off. I think it's because I'm using too big a piece and it's becoming unwieldy. So as I go, I just need to make sure I've offset by the right amount. It's at this point when it sticks to my fingers I try to detach. I don't think it helps that I've got PVA glue stuck to my fingers as well. I did quite a lot of this last night while I was watching a movie. I didn't quite feel like coming on, so I did a lot of work offline. But it's all boring tiling work, so you didn't miss much. But I just finished off the other part of the gable on the rear of the building. I've done some work on the Roman tiled roof as well. How have I managed to twist this? That's rescued it. Because it's self-adhesive, it does tend to stick to itself as you try and manipulate it. Not quite as many tiles to do on this one because it's a slightly smaller roof, but even so there's still a fair few rows to do. I added some more sticky paper because I'd run out. It wasn't quite the same stuff as I'd ordered previously, but this is actually better. It's a slightly, ever so slightly thicker paper, which cuts better, and it also doesn't fall apart as easy when you trying to stretch it tight and get it into the right place. The other one just tended to tear, so it does make for an easier sheet to make. This one exactly the same settings, but it hasn't perforated straight the way through, so it's just cut through to the surface of the paper. Like I say, it makes tearing it off a lot easier. And like I said, the fact that the sheets don't turn into little ribbons. Drawback is that I end up with it sticking to itself. I think I've rescued that. If I was a bit more, if I had a little, if I didn't have an endless supply of it, I'd be a bit more economical when trimming them off and not being so wasteful, but it's easier to start with a full sheet every time rather than trying to patch it in. So with, if it was stuff that I'd bought off the shelf rather than making myself, I would probably spend a lot more time trying to make use of the whole lot. But I can just print off as many sheets of this as I want when I want, as long as I've got the sticker paper. But putting them on in full strips, like I say, is a lot easier to do. Sometimes when you try and patch them together, you end up with your rows a little bit irregular. So this is something I can do with this type of paper. I can kind of stretch it taut to get it in the right place. The previous paper would just rip. Kind of doing this on an angle so you can see it. So it's a slightly strange angle for me. The beauty of the already engraved sheet means that I can just follow the guidelines. It is wavering off a little bit in places, but it's more or less following the straight line. Trim it properly with a knife, a straight edge, when I've come to the end of it. Important part is getting the stagger correct. Slowly but surely getting to the top. It's probably going to need another 4, maybe 5. Plenty on this sheet. Folded on itself there. Might just have enough. Nope. That one's gone wrong. Be invaded by the cat. What can we do for you, Bella? So you never used to get this before, did you? You're just passing through? Good evening, Jamie. How's Jamie? You been modelling this weekend? No, I'm trying to peel one off that I've already peeled off. That's why it's not coming away. Another one that's stuck to itself again. That one's trashed. Oh, it's not good. Yes, the cat. The cat is constantly pestering tonight. She usually just snoozes next to me, but she's on the prowl. You got a bit of something stuck to your paw? I wonder why. Yeah, she's now got a bit of roof towel stuck to her paw. to trim that excess off. Now I've got to the end of that sheet. So if I just get my straight edge and scalpel, as you can see, I'm using a cereal box for a bit of card substructure. That's what I've glued my engraved sheet onto, because the engraved sheet itself wasn't strong enough. Not to use as a substructure anyway. So I'll just put that out the way a minute. Pull the model in place, and I'm going to glue part of this roof, that part, in place. Now the reason why I wanted to do that is because I won't be able to easily access it, and what I want to be able to do is tile this next section in place. So I'm just making sure of the fit for now, and then I'll just apply some super glue. Make sure I put plenty on. And then I can just glue this in place. It doesn't quite reach, this form doesn't quite reach right to the end, but my next set of tiles will cover that gap, and that's why I wanted to be able to put it on in situ. So it's not setting quite so instantly. I just have to hold it in place until it does. Wiggle of the finger to let you know I'm still here and I've not frozen. You don't know where to start. Megan, where are you? UK or US? And what are you looking to do? It's all very important things. You're UK. Well, I use all sorts of materials. It all depends on what you're wanting to do. But there are a number of places like Hobbycraft and Hobbycraft in the range that you can use. But there are a number of Doll's House accessories websites as well. New carpets. I wonder how you do new. You could try felt for new carpets, couldn't you? I suppose. It all depends on what kind of carpet you want to put on. That's taking its sweet time gluing down. I think it's partially because I've got a bit of masking tape under there. Maybe it's not quite so porous. Are you talking about the plastic frames yellowed, or is it the glass itself, or the glazing plastic? Both. Yeah, that can be a problem. You can always try overpainting the frames, but if your glazing's gone as well, then you're going to have to redo it, aren't you, I suppose. Just put a bit of liquid super glue down there. activator spray. That should seep underneath. You can see the reaction. There we go. Might just end up with a bit of a bump there, but it seeped into the gap that I've got there and set solid. That's perfect. I wouldn't take them off until you've figured out how you're going to replace them, but you can get replacement doll's house windows, but they're all relative to the size of the holes. I mean, if it was me, I'd remake them from scratch, but I've got the facilities to do that. But yeah, have a look and see what there is there. I mean, like I said, you can look on places like Etsy as well. Etsy's quite good for doll's house stuff, apparently. But no, definitely look and see what you can find in terms of size of windows. The last thing you're going to want to do is your windows to be off and not able to replace them. I can make you some. Well, I'll tell you what, if you give me some sizes and what sort of style you want, I can certainly have a look at making some for you. Sorry, I'm just off camera scraping some dried plaster off my spatula tool. I just want to put a little bit of filler just along that edge there before I glue the roofing on. This isn't the best of filler now, it's starting to go off a bit, so it's not quite as smooth as it was. And as you can see, most of it's falling off because it's just too solid. So this is twofold. I want to just roughen up this this little bit of wall, but also fill that gap between the edge of the wall and the roof space. It does last quite a long time, the filler, it doesn't last forever. Thank you for gifting, that's great, thank you very much. Very much appreciated. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. Am I building the home that it's coming home to? I don't think so, because this one's France. Don't really want it to go to France, although they've not got much chance of doing it now, have they? I am not making the best filling job here, and that's mostly because the filler's gone off and it's a little bit awkward to work with. It's obviously a sign that I need to get myself a new tub, and I have to throw this one away. That was squeaky. Right, there we go. Here we go. Now I can add some more tiling. So another thing I've done today is I've added all the doors and windows for this section. So it just needs to be painted, but I've painted the interiors of the openings, which means which meant I could put the doors and windows in, because I wanted to get those in before I put the roof down. Everything's kind of got a logical order of making things, and I've just destroyed that first row. That's a great start, isn't it? Good evening, Joe. Here we go. Oh, not too bad, thank you, Joe. How's your good self? Well, that's odd. I think. Yeah. I've gone and glued this on the wrong side. Sorry, I've not gone and glued it on. I've gone and cut it on the wrong side of the label, so I'm trying to peel it off. In fact, I've done them both the same. Rookie error. Look, there's a definite correct side for the label. I've gone and laser cut it onto the backing sheet instead of the label sheet, so we've got an absolute mess. It's all the wrong side. So let's just throw that away. And yeah, I can't carry on because I've run out of tiles. What can I do instead? That is really frustrating and annoying. I can't carry on because I've run out of tiles. So I'll probably do a bit of painting. So the idea was I was going to tile that, and then I was going to start with the end bit here, but I can't do that now because I have run out of tiles. And I need to set the laser cutter off for that. It's rather noisy and I'm not in the mood for doing that, so I'll just tinker along with some other bits and pieces that I can do in the meantime. I'll carry on with the tiling tomorrow. Just move on to this bit then. So what I've done here, since you were last with me, is I've actually glued all these walls together. Now these are butt joint, so the laser won't go around a corner. So to get the effect of the stones wrapping around the corner realistically, I'm just carving into them, or following the carving around the wall, just to get that effect there. That's easy enough to do. It's quite soft, the MDF, and the lines are not much thicker than a scalpel blade, so I can just follow in from the corner and just trace it around, meeting up with the other line. And what I've done here as well is I've put a layer of, or a little bit of filler into the corner because the gaps didn't meet perfectly. It's because it's not a 90-degree angle. And so I've just had to glue them together with a sort of strange angle between them, which meant there was a bit of a gap. So all I've done is use some ready mixed filler. I've only got to do this on 2 corners. Oops. That's just my temporary cardboard form that's come flying off. Made a slight error here that I haven't gone all the way down, so I do need to carve another 2 row of stones. I should have gone deeper. Basically, we've got a slope between the ground levels, so the ground level is up here on this side and down here on here. So it has like a, I just draw it on roughly with a pencil. I can't do that, can I? Because I can't freehand. So the ground slopes like that. That one you're not going to see much of the stone because the ground slopes before you get there. Good evening, Sarah. Sorry, I was busy concentrating. Didn't see you there. I hope you've had a good Saturday. Right, that's about done that bottom layer there. I now need to go around this corner the same. Housework as usual. I've been sat here all day. I've literally been sat at this desk pretty much all day. I did go out and do a little bit of gardening at the church, because we have like a community group that does it every month. So I went and did a little bit of volunteering this morning, but ever since I came back, like I say, I've just been sat here trying to get cracking with this. Hello Pip, how's Pip? I haven't put my last three windows and doors on this side, which I've just reminded myself of, so it's a good job I didn't get too much further with the roofing, because I would have sealed those in and not been able to fit them. I have made them and I've painted them, but I need to paint the insides of the reveals before I can do anything. I've also somehow, inexplicably, not done that small window as well. That's weird. Wonder how I've managed to completely forget that. So one thing I need to remember is I can still access this from underneath. No, I can't, because I've put a base in. I'll get around that somehow. I've not glued the base in, so I'll get around it somehow. I might have to just lift it out, but that was incredibly lucky that I just noticed that then, because otherwise we'd have a huge hole that hadn't got a window in it. Hello Sandina, I've been giving myself a bit of a break. I found it a bit hard work just recently, so I've been sort of keeping to myself. I have got a long way on with this as well, but yeah, I've tried to be on a bit more this last week, but prior to that I'd given myself a big break, because I was just starting to, well, without being melodramatic, I was starting to feel a bit burnt out. I was just exhausted all the time. Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Pip. I'm good. I've just been sat doing a lot of model making today. Now, I'll show you what I have managed to achieve. If I can just move the camera a little bit. This is a section of roof. I'll have to take it off the stand. This is a section of roof I've added that's got a slightly different style. It's like a Roman tile. Now I had a mould for this, and but I needed a specific type of casting plaster. Because as you know, if you remember me saying, I managed to put it on upside down last time and ruined an entire piece. So the light's really harsh, it doesn't show off in a good way. So what I've done is I've remoulded this bit of tile, and I've glued it in place. I've made this little ridge tile here. This is actually made out of a paper drinking straw that I cut in half, and then I wrapped some paper around it to mask off the sort of twisted effect, and then painted it. So I've covered it in a layer of PVA to solidify it, and then I've painted it. And what I've also done is redone the turret tiling. So that's all been redone. It just needs painting now. Oops. That clicking sound is the sound of my tripod not going on. So what I'm going to do now, I've got those corners sorted, is I'm going to just put a layer of paint on this. I've got so much painting to do. I'm glad I've done it kind of as I go along. It would have been quite daunting to have had to paint the whole thing all at once. What I've also done is removed my shelving from my table for the time being because I wasn't able to get the model pushed back. So now, as you can see, it's all gone for now. It's stacked up in the corner, but it means I can then just push this back a little bit further. So once I've got this bit sorted, I can then start to work on the courtyard, so I can work out this bit as well. Because there's one more building to put in. There's a little sloped roof lean-to that sits on the side of here, and to get that into place, we're going to need to put the floor in, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to work out where it goes. Now I keep saying I'm going to paint that, but what I've just noticed as well is I've not quite it was definitely what I've not quite finished here. I need to just do a little bit more carving around this chimney. It's like the other ones, they're butt jointed, so the laser only sort of cuts the flat surface. But to get the illusion of the stone going around the corner, I'm just going to have to carve into it without cutting my finger. We got some tiling done. I'm just a bit annoyed that I managed to do not just one but both of them on the wrong side. I've still got another 2 chimneys to make for this as well. There's one that I completely forgot about on the main part of the house. It's on the rear. It only shows up in a photograph from a certain angle. Oops, just pulled a bit of that away, which is annoying. And I've also got a chimney to add on here. It's just a little block chimney. I'm going to start adding a bit of colour to the walls. Well, it's a base layer I need to put on. Are you coming through again, Bella? Right, so I'm going to use an initial coat of UK Lightstone, which I know is the wrong colour for France, but I'm going to start off with that, and then I'm going to use Portland stone, which is a closer stone colour, but it just needs a covering. I haven't put that door in yet either, which I've just noticed. tricky, isn't it, Bella? Don't stand on it then. You won't end up with your nose stone coloured. You are. I think Bella's decided she wants to stay put. She's fascinated. I'm running out of paint, Bella. Where did I put my tub? Is it that one? Thank you. It's Catzilla. using up quite a lot of paint, it's quite thirsty. Some areas, especially the bits that have been lasered, will require several coats to cover it. Right, what we're going to do now, just sand off that bit of wall here. If I just put that brush, there it is. Just needed to put a coat of paint on that bit, sorry about that. Just rinse that off a little. Right, what shall I do now? I might put another coat of grey paint on the roof tiles because that still needs to be done. Or at least the bits that I've done already anyway. Just need to wait for all that to dry. I could use the hairdryer, but I'm not going to tonight. So let's just try and pan back a bit. There we go. And I'm going to need to get some grey paint and water it down a little. Thank you, G. So, some medium sea grey. Which I've not got that much of. I just put some in the mixing palette and I'm going to water that down a little so it spreads better. So mix in some flow improver. I've already got several layers of paint on, so it doesn't need to go on thick. Nice thin coat will do the trick, hopefully. I don't know if I've put a little bit too much flow improver in there, but try and remove the patchiness of the paint that I've put in. Of course, I'm going to undo all this afterwards by going over with a black wash, but I need to go out and get myself some new some more white spirit, which I've run out of. So in the meantime I'll just add some more layers, more thin layers of grey. Like I say, I think this is a little bit too thin. Goes on nicely though. It does, it's all about the layers. You've just got to keep adding different bits and eventually it starts coming to life. So what I'll do after I've finished painting all the tiles is just go over and pick out some slightly different shades of grey before giving it a big overall wash of black. A very thin black. Just so it picks out those tiles. bit more paint into the mix, because like I say, it's a little bit too weak and watery. That's covered better. Have you tried painting with a cat sat on your shoulders? Is there something wrong, Bella? No, I'm busy. She's gone. I'm just trying to change the light a little bit because it's just glowing bright white. It's not help, has it? Oh, excuse me. I knew that was coming. I just couldn't stop. Bella doesn't like it when I sneeze. Thank you. Such a lot of roof to paint. Good day, Dysfunction Junction. How are you doing? Good evening, Johnston Plastering. Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. I've been... Sorry, stuttering there. I've been merrily painting away. Not painting, building. Doing a bit of painting, I suppose. I've been taking advantage of the fact that there's not much else to do today by working on this model. So I've been finishing off some roofing layers. And slowly working my way towards being nearly ready to start final detailing. I'm going to have to go. I can hear it raining and I've got some washing still outside, so I need to bring it in. I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to go.